Thanks for coming to Politics in Life. I hope all my freedom loving patriots are having a blessed day. Please like, comment, hit that subscribe button. Also, if there's anything you want me to discuss or react to in the future, just let me know. We are reacting to Van Jones, CNN's own Van Jones, speaking to Black Trump supporters on if they regret their vote, on why they voted for him, and the policies they do or disagree with Trump about, and if they would vote for him again. After react to that, we're going to react to Joe Biden, Dementia Joe, going on The View and making an ass out of himself and having his wife fix up his stutter issues. It's quite embarrassing. It's amazing that anyone actually voted for Joe Biden, but this just confirms that he was never in a position where he should have been able to lead from power because he has dementia, and we're about to make that very clear on a video I show you. But first, let's get it started with Van Jones, Trump deranged Van Jones, interviewing some Trump supporters, Black Trump supporters, on why they voted for Trump. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let's get it started.
Voters making of it all. CNN's Van Jones has been talking to Trump supporters dating back to 2016. He is, as you know, a Democrat who is a former senior advisor to President Obama. For tonight's report, he met with a small group of Black voters, a man and a woman from South Carolina and another woman from North Carolina, all of whom voted for President Trump. CNN's exit polling shows Mr. Trump got 8% of the Black vote in 2016, and that grew slightly into the teens over the next two elections. Here's Van's report from Greenville, South Carolina.
I think it's a lot higher than that. I mean, I think Black people, especially Black men, voted for Trump at almost 50% capacity. I think that when it comes to any polls, any percentages, any statistics, they've been messed with so badly, especially in regards to Trump's approval. I guarantee it's higher than that, a lot higher than that.
You do well.
And here we are in South Carolina with 3 Trump voters. You weren't always a Republican.
No, actually, I come from a family that was like super Democratic. My first time voting, I voted Democrat. I voted for Joe Biden.
What about Trump appealed to you?
Am I allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you can.
I mean, part of it is he's an asshole. I like.
He's our asshole.
You voted
though.
for Obama then you voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. But 2020, you voted for Donald Trump. What made the change?
I began listening to someone. Her name is Candace Owens, and I read her book, and it just opened my eyes to maybe he's not this person that I have been led to believe that he was.
So you voted against Trump in 2016.
Yes.
But then in 2020, you voted for him?
Absolutely.
Why?
I saw how things were going during his first term, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I was pleased with what was happening.
Well, the thing is, and a lot of people in record numbers are doing these days, is they're turning off big media and actually listening to what he is saying and what he is doing. Actions over words, which is what's been a huge problem with politicians in the past. They say they're going to do all this good stuff, but in the end, their actions show they don't do anything they say they're going to do. Trump, everything he says he's going to do, he has done. He is a man of the people, and you can trust him because he has kept his word.
Happening. I saw the economy getting better. I saw country relations in certain countries getting better.
What are some things that he's doing that you do like?
For me, I like the border. I just don't like the idea of someone coming here illegally and getting benefits that can serve my community. So that's the reason why I support him on that border policy.
When you think about the border, you think about people coming here who are getting more help than people who live here and who were born here.
Yeah. And I got that perspective not from news channels. I got it from social media. TikTok is like a holy grail. We even see it with the things that we learn about the United States government. Outside of the United States, people are showing Americans, hey, look at what's going on. Do y'all know that your government is doing this? Have you seen this? Have you looked at it from this perspective?
And now, because we have the age of technology, hey, Sharon, I hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a blessed day. The age of technology, these bills that they would pass back in the day, let's say, and lie about what's in it, we can like put it in like a, AI machine, or run it through some system. I heard these days where it actually shows you exactly what is in the bill, because they would usually have you vote on a bill with like less than a day to read through it, and more than 1,000-page bill. These days we can get through it faster, see what's really in it, and get rid of the waste and spending, which Trump is also asking to do. We need single subject bills. It's that simple, because we, the people, didn't vote on all these BS things to be used with our taxpayer funds to be spent on all these other countries. Like, for example, Sesame Street in India. And that was a real bill.
You know, people, when they think about a Trump voter, they usually think about like a white dude with like a red hat on and a pickup
Not
truck.
true.
And y'all are not that at all. So Donald Trump's team went in, they took down Harriet Tubman's picture for a quick minute. They're trying to like knock out the black museums. What does that have to do with the price of eggs, and how does that impact you?
Oh, real quick, and I'll stop pausing it. Guess what, guys? I'm in California, which I think it is easily conservative if we had single-day voting with actual ID. Eggs, which were $12, I'd say a month ago. Guess how much we got them for today, me and my wifey? $5 a dozen eggs are now. That's cut in half. The price has been cut in half within just a single month. So what do you Democrats got to say now about egg prices?
In some ways, it's a slap in the face. In other ways, I don't care. I care more about how I'm going to take care of my children.
I don't think the average American cares about that. I know I am sick and tired of seeing Black people sit there and complain about something, but not taking action and steps to actually try to change things in an appropriate manner.
Under the Trump and Biden administration, they came to certain agreements with police departments to be less brutal toward the Black community. Trump has now ended all that. How does that help the Black community?
I have a lot of issues with police reform and just with how police officers are treated as a whole. My husband is currently going through the process to become a police officer. The amount of hatred that cops get, even the best ones, I think has become a huge problem, because it has been, especially around election times, when it definitely comes out of like, oh,
we have to always support our military, always support our police and our people that just help out in the community, firemen, the ambulance. They don't get enough support, and it's tragic how the Democrat Party has more love and support for these illegals and these criminals who are here illegally than they do our own police officers. Under the last administration, cops were treated so horrible, yet they'd be letting out these criminals on a daily basis that our own police were locking up. Disgusting.
no, the cops are bad. The cops hate you because you're Black. They're immediately deemed as evil.
This man is talking about running for a third term. Now, what do you think about that?
The third term, for me, absolutely not. I think it's at the end of these 4 years, it's time to move on.
This is a prime example of him trolling people, because people have said, they're like, oh, if he gets in the office, he's going to be a dictator. He's going to try to run for a third term. So he's like, okay, y'all think I'm going to do that? I'm going to mess with y'all and say this to take y'all out.
I thought you loved this man because he's so authentic and he's such a truth teller.
But you need to know the difference between somebody trolling somebody.
Exactly.
And this is a prime example of him being a troll.
If you had to do it all over
Yeah.
again, would you vote for Donald Trump again? Yes or no?
Hell
Yes,
yeah.
I would. Now, in the future, I am not a diehard Democrat or diehard Republican. If there were a Democratic candidate who was more aligned for me, then I would vote Democrat.
If you go back in time, would you vote for Donald Trump? Yes or no?
Yes.
I think I might know the answer on this next one.
She said yes. It's immediately yes. No, I'm sorry.
If you had to do it all over again, would you vote for Donald Trump? Yes or no?
Oh, yeah, Sharon, I saw that. You saw Eric Trump with the hat on for 2028. I'm not sure if he's going to run, but that's what it is. I am actually going to be buying one of those hats this upcoming week just as a troll, because I think it's the ultimate funniest troll. And you know how liberals get so deranged over anything Trump says. I'm looking forward to buying that hat.
1,000%, absolutely yes.
And Van Jones joins me now. It's interesting. Most of the information that they are getting, or misinformation they may be getting, is coming from online.
Really, 100%. The thing that surprised me the most was how much social media is dictating, especially the younger guy. You know, he said, look, I'm learning all this stuff about America that I didn't know. I'm like, where are you learning from? TikTok. China.
TikTok is more reliable than CNN. I mean, the left before Trump was in would glorify and support TikTok like no other. Like that was their platform. And now since conservatives, because it was a lot of the younger people, that's who pretty much runs TikTok from what I've seen since I've been on TikTok. And since conservatives are at record high right now for younger generation people. Now it's turning on the opposite side. It was very leftist. Now it's gone conservative. I mean, I see so much love for Trump on that site, TikTok. And now because they're supporting love for Trump, they say it's not reliable. So who do you think reliable then is? Or who do you think's reliable then, Van Jones? You guys have been wrong on every issue in the past 10 plus years since Trump has been in the political world. So sorry, don't care what you have to say.
Guys, you're a Republican and you're taking the Chinese narrative about your own country to heart. But that was a big part of their whole information ecosystem.
Yeah,
social media.
Does it seem to you that they follow news closely? I mean,
no, that was the other thing too. Is that one of the women said, "Look, I do not watch any of the media." She says, I have some influencers I follow. Candace Owens being a big deal, and Newsmax. And that is their information system. And listen, these are hardworking people. They're good people. They care about the country, but they are in a completely different information environment than people who I talk to every day.
Yeah, and those people they talk to are in like the what do you call, like the millionaire world, where it's all these elites and actresses and millionaire musicians who watch CNN, watch MSNBC or MSDNC and ABC. Those places are a joke. No one trusts them anymore. We the people are the new news. For example, I am part of that echo chamber, and I hope my channel grows and more people starts to watch it. Not only did that interview go very viral this week, there was another very viral moment on ABC, and it was, I'm sorry, I got to bring up the hacks on The View. So cringe to watch them. They didn't really talk. Joe Biden did most of the talking, and then his wife even interrupted him to answer the question they asked Joe Biden.
Yeah.
This is one of the most embarrassing clips that I've ever seen of Joe Biden. He looks lost. He looks demented. He looks like he doesn't even know what's going on around him. But this is great content, so we're going to review it together and react to it together. Hi, Ruth. I hope you're having such a blessed day. We just reacted to Van Jones speaking of Black Trump supporters on why they voted for Trump. Now we're going to react to Dementia Joe on The View this past week, stumbling and bumbling, and then his wife picking up the pieces for him.
Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out, deeply sourced.
Yes, real quick. Yes, Sharon, I did see that China caved on the tariffs today, and all the leftist news we're complaining about it. It looks like we're going to win in the end. And I was talking to my dad about this actually last night, that it's going to take a little bit of time. But once these tariffs come into play and once we have all these jobs and money come back into America, we're going to be thriving like never before. We shouldn't even be paying taxes. And I really am thinking that Trump's going to eliminate the tax system altogether and bring in tariffs, which is how it was before the tax system was introduced. And that's when people were allowed to survive off minimum wage jobs, provide for a family, get a house, have money left over. And then they introduced the tax system, which is just a tax on everything on the consumer, which is us. Yes, the left needs to stop paying America. I agree.
From Democratic sources that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities in the final year of your presidency. What is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that. Number one. Number two, think of what we were left with. We were left with a circumstance where we had an insurrection when I started. Not since the Civil War.
Who else is sick of hearing about the insurrection? I mean, this is all the left has said for the past, 5+ years? We've been over that for years. There was feds in the crowd. We know who started it. We know what happened. You guys cause insurrections, it seems like, at least once a week, every week. Antifa, Palestine, the trans nonsense. So give me a break with January 6th just for one day. Yeah, it was raining. It was actually raining today, guys. It's weird, huh?
Or we had a circumstance where we were in a position that the pandemic, because of the incompetence of the last outfit, end up over 1 million people dying.
You just said we had a pandemic because of the last outfit. I didn't know an outfit can talk. I thought that's just clothes that someone puts on. Let's hear that part again, guys. This is just embarrassing.
We were in a position that the pandemic, because of the incompetence of the last outfit, end up over 1 million people dying. 1 million people dying. We're also in a situation where we found ourselves unable to deal with a lot of just basic issues. And
the worst president ever and the dumbest president ever.
which I won't go into in the interest of time. And so we went to work and we got it done. And, you know, one of the things that well, I'm
Well, and
talking too long.
Alyssa, you know, one of the things I think,
First of all, this was the previous president of the United States. Fake, weak, demented. We already know that. He didn't even finish his thought before his wife jumped in. This almost confirms that, and looks like, from what I see, she's the president, or she was the shadow president behind Joe Biden. Because if he can't even speak and she's speaking over him and interrupting him, what does that tell you? That means she's probably the one changing his diaper. She's the one probably making the decisions behind the scenes. This is a huge wake-up call, I feel like, if you are a Democrat, to see just how weak Joe Biden was and that you guys were literally supporting a walking zombie.
and Alyssa, you know, one of the things I think is that the people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us. And they didn't see how hard Joe worked every single day. I mean,
Oh
he'd get
my
up,
gosh.
he'd put in a full day, and then at night
It's
I'd
embarrassing.
be in bed, you know, reading my book, and he was still on the phone reading his briefings, working with staff. I mean, it was nonstop. It's the White House. Being president is not like a job. It's a lifestyle. It's a life that you live. You live it 24 hours a day.
The president job, it's a lifestyle. It's a job you live 24 hours a day. This woman's just as stupid as he is. Like, I just don't understand how the View thought it was a great idea to bring on these two damn clowns. They are the dumbest but perfect couple I've ever seen in the political world. Like, it's amazing. Joe Biden, first of all, belongs in prison, and his wife should be in prison right behind him.
A day. That phone can ring.
I want to hear that
President
again.
is not like a job. It's a lifestyle. It's a life that you live. You live it 24 hours a day. That phone can ring at 11 o'clock at night or 2 in the morning. It's constant. You never leave it. And Joe worked really hard. I think he was a great president. And if you look at things today, give me Joe Biden anytime.
That's worth the invitation to come to the show.
Amazing. Amazing. This was the Democrats' leader. Now Kamala Harris looks like she's at the top of the ticket for the next administration or election, because we know they'll never get elected again. And Democrats are done. They are toast. I don't think there will ever, for at least the next 10 to 20 years, I don't think that Democrats are going to get elected. Like, they're done. If they don't have illegals, or if they don't have these fraud that they commit in these elections taking place in these next few elections, I think it's going to be a sweep across the board. Because sure, there's a small minority of sheeple in every city, but I mean, we are the majority by a lot, I think.
That all the projects, the benefits. How do you lead the world without having the best infrastructure? How do you lead the world without having the best healthcare in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best education system in the world? How do you lead the world when you don't have that done?
Wow. Well, those are the two clips. I wanted to do the whole video, but if I do review the whole video, I'll get copyright strikes from YouTube. But isn't that just embarrassing? So embarrassing that actually people voted for that clown. So Scott Jennings, as you know, works for CNN. He is the only reason I watch CNN is when he lambastes and owns these libs. And Ana Navarro, as you know, is on The View, who is says she's a Republican, but is really just a liberal who is a fraud who no one trusts, cares, and just laughs at on a daily basis. Scott Jennings actually calls her out about them interviewing Biden on The View, and this clip was so amazing. Let's watch it together.
Watching him on The View today and watching some of the interviews he did over.
your viewership.
Yeah, I saw it. It's rare for me, but I did watch it. I will just say, watching him over the last few days reminded me that a whole bunch of people were telling us with a straight face that this man was capable of serving another 4 years as president. And these appearances, coupled with what I understand is going to be the equivalent of a nuclear bomb dropped on the Democratic Party when Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson's book come out next week. I don't know that the Democrats have fully internalized what's about to happen to them. Between what he looks like today and what they're about to report,
I am not sure that Joe.
You just said that
what did he not say?
You said that he told Kamala Harris that she could not have any distance
False.
from him.
It's been reported. He told
it doesn't
her
matter
point
what he
blank,
was.
He told her point blank, no daylight, kid, no daylight.
Because reporting can never be wrong?
Are you attacking the journalism around it?
I mean, they've always said everything that they said about Trump, especially on The View, is credible. And now the one time that there's something about Biden, it's not credible. And it's CNN, literally the show she is on, or the network she is on, that she's saying that it might not be credible. This is just laughable at this point. Ana Navarro is such a clown, and such a fraud.
You think reporting can never be wrong?
If you
You
come in
and you come on here and you attack reporting every night.
I do not.
We actually asked him the
There's
question
critical
directly.
reporting about this guy,
Okay.
and he told her point
Well,
blank,
we asked
no
him.
daylight.
We asked him directly today.
All right.
Did you tell her
You think he's
that?
ever told a lie?
I don't think he tells many lies.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't think he tells many lies. I don't think he's done a.
Come on.
Wait.
Joe Biden not telling lies. He literally grew up his whole career. It's on video. You could find it so easy on YouTube or X. All of the lies that Biden has told. He literally, during his first presidential run, had to quit because he copied people's speeches. He was caught in the act of literally copying all these people's speeches, lying about where he grew up, what sports he played, his college background. He said he was at the top of the class when really he was at the bottom of the class. He's lied and plagiarized everything his whole career. It's disgusting that people can lie so blatantly like this.
You know why you don't get to laugh like that? Because you support a guy who lies every freaking day and lies continuously. You support a guy who cannot acknowledge that he lost the 2020 election.
Oh, there we go.
Lies about it.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's injected.
Thank you.
Have you read it? Have you read it?
Guys, we gotta
Have you
go.
read
Thank you
it?
very much.
Nothing new. They just bring up January 6th and they bring up the 2020 election. That is literally all they have at this point. So now this is actually from this morning. New MSNBC has a 5-minute struggle session after President Trump granted white South Africans asylum, says is a sign of white supremacy. The panel sounded like they were about to cry at the fact that white people were allowed to seek asylum. Guest Richard Sengel went so far as to suggest that the situation in South Africa is no big deal because it's only a small handful of whites. So as I don't know if you guys have heard this, but it looks like in Africa right now, white people, even born white people, African-born white people are getting attacked and murdered, I believe the stories were saying, for being white. And they're all for all these illegals, gang members, criminals, pedophiles, terrorists coming in, but we can't actually help out people who are innocent, who are getting attacked just based off the color of their skin. Proves again, Democrats do not care about people. They care about criminals, and that's all.
Trump has virtually halted refugee admission in America for people fleeing war and famine in places like Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
She's
Back
so
with
dumb.
Rick, Mark, and Eddie. Rick Stinkham.
Yes, it's so deeply and morally wrongheaded and repulsive. These are the descendants of the people who created the most diabolical system of white supremacy in human history, apartheid. They're not directly responsible for it, but it was a system that actually moved Black people off of the arable land. So they inherited the land that the Black people had to give up. It was called forced removal. It was something called a Bantustan policy, where they moved Black people out of the cities and farmlands into these remote areas with non-arable land. I mean, it was just one of the most worst processes ever. But what has happened in this strange, bizarre world we're living in is that the Afrikaners have become the darling of these right-wing white supremacist movements around the world, that it's like the lost cause for them. It's like the old Confederacy. They're held up as these white Christians who are being dispossessed of their land. It's like this is a modern replacement theory in a country where, by the way...
There we go. So the great replacement theory, that's what he meant by the modern replacement theory. That is where they open your borders, and let people just take over the citizens of the country. So, for example, they were opening up the borders for us under Joe Biden. They gave all these illegals everything for free off our taxpayer dime, while these illegals were killing, taking our jobs, replacing us as humans. And they say that's racist because that is titled the Great Replacement Theory. Like, that is the definition. And that's what's happening in Africa, it seems like. So I guess you're a white supremacist or what part of white supremacy if you bring it up. It's insane.
White people make up 7% of the population and own 78% of the farmland. So it's actually, there's no injustice here. As you mentioned, it's taking places away from refugees who are really being crushed by authoritarian governments and military governments. For these folks who have never had anything happen to them. I mean, Trump amazingly called it a genocide, one of the worst lies I've ever heard him say. There's just been a small handful of farmers that have been.
Yet, if there's a single person, let's say a black person who was a criminal killed by a white officer or an officer in general, these clowns right here will scream up like a circus clown and say we need a protest on the street, and that violent protests are peaceful protests, just like they did during the BLM riots. MSNBC, at least they're honest, though, about how they feel. CNN, they act like they're actually credible news. MSNBC is just far on the deep end of the leftist narrative and agenda.
Killed over the past 10 years. No land has actually been expropriated. So it's just a farce and a sham and a moral ugliness.
What happens now that he's taken this step?
I don't know. I mean, it's like a Batman movie or something where all the bad guys get collected under one roof. I mean, like, who else do you now go and find other racists who have, repressed people and give them refugee status here? It's just, I don't know where it goes.
Oh, but you guys were down for all the millions of illegals, though, to come here and get preferential treatment. But yeah, that's all right. We can't help out some people that are actually getting attacked on their homeland.
Yeah, but I mean, you even said it. It's like a headline from The Onion. I don't even know how to get more extreme than this.
You know, I think it's important for us to understand that the Trump administration is a lot of things, but one thing it certainly is a white nationalist project. And oftentimes we don't want to describe it as such. I'm not reducing it to it because there's greed, there's graft, there's all.
They're saying the main people that vote for Trump supporters and his base, they're white supremacists. That's what they're saying. Keep on talking like this. You will never win another election. This dude's a clown.
Sorts of things happening around it, but we need to understand the way in which Great Replacement Theory is driving this. There's a sense in which the immigration policy is all about demographic shifts. There's a sense around the assault on voting rights and civil rights. It's all about who will have the decision-making power to determine who will run the country. And here, this idea that the republic must remain a white nation is evidenced in this move, which is so explicit that it cannot be denied. And so when we don't describe it for what it is, we become, in an ironic way, complicit in what they're doing.
He spoke about voting rights being taken away. No, we just want legal citizens to provide ID so we know you are who you say you are. That is it. And Democrats think you're too dumb or uneducated to be able to drive to the DMV to get your own ID. I've reacted to videos of white liberals actually saying that out loud in previous videos. That is how racist the Democrats and idiots like this right here think of the black and minority communities. It's disgusting behavior.
It's a white nationalist agenda, it seems to me.
You know what I'm going to ask you? Where are the Democratic voices offering a different message to the world about who America is today, right now, as this is happening?
Look, I think you showed Chris Murphy. I think he's one of the people speaking out. And I think that Democrats are speaking out. I think the problem is that just in the time that we've been here, we have talked about Donald Trump accepting a $400 million aircraft from a royal family.
Okay,
we have talked about this instance of white nationalism, which I completely agree. I mean, if Donald Trump just didn't want immigrants, you'd have all of the terribleness we have. But it actually turns out he does want some immigrants.
It seems like he wants to help immigrants that are getting killed based off their skin color, and he wants to deport criminals who are here with bad means. I don't understand how that's so hard to get, but it is MSDNC, of course.
He wants the white Christians from South Africa to be immigrants to this country. You began, when we first sat down, talking about the rationing of pencils, right? A world in which the 11-year-old girl has a quota on the number of pencils she can have. Yeah. All of these are of a part. They are all of Donald Trump, who wants to be a strongman. He wants to be a dictator. He wants to be able to dictate how he flies, how he lives, who he associates with. He likes associating. I think he likes that he got a plane from a royal family. I don't think he would have taken the plane if it had come from like Sweden or Switzerland. I think he liked the idea that it came from, a regime in the Middle East that is run by a royal family. And against that backdrop, you have Democrats trying to fight each of these fires when really what it is just one big blaze. And I think we need to understand that there is, as Eddie said, a through line that connects all of these things together.
Thank you guys for connecting all of these things together and for being.
They have the dumbest people on MSNBC. Like, this is just embarrassing at this point. Like, it's amazing to me that people like this get $1 million salaries each year for saying this kind of nonsense. Anyways, let's hear one more.
Congress today.
We felt she did not fit the needs of the American people. There were quite concerning things that she had done at the Library of Congress in the pursuit of DEI and putting inappropriate books in the library for children. And we don't believe that she was serving the interests of the American taxpayer well. So she has been removed from her position, and the president is well within his rights to do that.
Yeah, that's actually a good move. That's what the taxpayers want, especially at the local level. I can tell you right now that there are parents all over this country trying to get librarians to remove some of the material that's being exposed to their children.
They were the worst porn that you've ever seen. It was just incredible. Our kids, they shouldn't be sexualizing our kids.
But unfortunately, their voices are going unheard and they're powerless. Well, hopefully this move here by the president will have a trickle-down effect, and the local communities and maybe some of the states will start getting some of their shit together.
We need to save the kids. It pisses me off so much that they are grooming kids all throughout the country at young ages with this disgusting crap they're putting in the kids' books, or what they're having them read or teaching them in class. It's disgusting. And I've seen some of it, and it's very inappropriate. Anyways, I hope you guys have the best day ever. Love you guys. I will see you guys later. Peace.